Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 174 of Crunchtime. I'm gonna be your host for today's episode. I am Tanner Dislin, and as always, I am joined by newly minted champion of the podcast, Sam Godsey. Sam, I think I know the answer to this, but how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, and I am fueled by all the hate the Thunder are getting. But doesn't matter because we are NBA champs. I couldn't be happier, man.
Banners fly forever, repping your favorite player on
Of
this.
course, baby. Let's go.
Never said a bad word about, of course, Chet Holmgren. But yes, obviously the big news this week, Oklahoma City Thunder are your NBA champions. What an incredible season from them. We will have more on that later. I think we've got a couple champions that have been crowned since we last recorded. Obviously, took the week off last week. I was a little under the weather, so bear with us. But we're back. We're back this week. We had, LSU win the baseball championship, college baseball championship, and then the Florida Panthers repeated back to back in the NHL, and now the Thunder in the NBA. So a lot of champions being crowned and a lot to talk about. But before we get to all that, of course, we will start with winners and losers. So Sam, hit me with your winner.
Yeah, Tanner. My winner is actually going to be a lot of people would say is loser, but I think you'll agree with me that this will be a winner, and that is NBA coverage next year. NBA on TNT is going away, or they're going on ESPN. But there are some great teams coming in. Amazon Prime with D Wade, Udonis Haslam, Steve Nash, Dirk, Candace Parker, and Taylor Rooks is an in-studio host for that one. And then NBA on NBC has Reggie Miller, Jamal Crawford, Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Mike Tirico, and of course, a big news that dropped a while back, Michael Jordan going to be making special appearances here and there. So we lost the NBA on TNT. The battle. We couldn't be happier on this podcast, and by the looks of it, the NBA coverage should get a lot better. And not only NBA on TNT, but the ESPN coverage, especially during the NBA finals, was absolute dog shit. Kendrick Perkins is awful at his job. Stephen A. Smith, I could do this whole episode on solitaire. Are you kidding me? Just yelling. But I will say Bob Myers, I do enjoy him because I don't know if you saw, he called out Stephen A. Smith, which we love.
Say it loud.
Yeah. Shout out Bob Myers for that. But it seems NBA coverage is heading into the right direction, and I couldn't be happy.
Yes, dude, look at this. He is not 48 hours an NBA champion, and he's already thinking about next year. Look at that. It's that championship mentality.
Absolutely.
Next one up. You're absolutely right. I mean, obviously, we are not fans of the NBA on TNT. It's not funny to me when someone who's supposed to be covering the game can't tell you what team someone plays for.
I want to make a correction, though. This excludes Ernie Johnson, because that's my guy.
Yep. Ernie is a beast, of course. The other clowns up there.
Terrible.
Sayonara. I will say, though, the only thing I will say is like what you kind of said there is like ESPN wasn't any better.
ESPN was so bad. It's just NBA. This year's NBA coverage was just not it.
Everyone on the desk, including the executives, I'm sure, just started crying when they realized that for 2-3 weeks straight they had to go back and forth between Oklahoma City and Indianapolis.
Oh yeah,
instead of New York, LA, where they want to go, San Francisco. So it's the coverage is tough. Every single fan too. Like I guess every single like impartial fan. Like there's the NBA on TNT has a very loyal fan base, but this specific finals, everyone's just like, what are they?
Yeah,
what are
they it was bad
about, man? And
it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Hopefully it gets better. I don't see how with all those names you listed off, it doesn't get better. But yeah, so we'll be here for it. And our team should be pretty good again next year. So hopefully we'll have some good coverage to show them off. So pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff for the NBA next season. No doubt about it. But Sam, my winner of the episode, I am going with a budding superstar in the MLB who just had a signature game last night, and his name is James Wood, outfielder of the Washington Nationals. So last night, the Nationals went to San Diego to take on the Padres. Little thing about James Wood, he was a prospect for the Padres. And they traded him away for Juan Soto a couple years ago. I believe it was in 2022. He was, a top prospect. And he first made his debut last year, came up, struggled, as a lot of people do when they're just brought up. But this year he was poised to make a big jump, and he has done exactly that. Last night against the Padres, all he did was go 3 for 5 with a home run and 4 RBIs against his former organization. And Sam, there were a bunch of other people in that trade too. CJ Abrams, the shortstop for the Nationals, he was from the Padres as well. Guess what he did? He went 3 for 5 himself.
Not bad.
Two of them, who coincidentally hit 1 and 2 in the Nationals order, went 6 for 10 with 4 RBIs and a home run. And the ace of the National staff is Mackenzie Gore, another top prospect from the Padres that was traded in that trade to the Nationals for Juan Soto. Oh, and then the Padres, so they traded for him in 2022, finished that season with him. They had him in 2023, and then right before the 2024 season, they traded him to the Yankees. So they didn't even have him for 2 years.
Nice.
They traded away their entire farm system, and they are doing well for the Nationals. Seems like the Nationals made out very well. But specifically, James Wood, who this was about, the headliner of the trade and the headliner of the game last night, in his sophomore season, after a cup of coffee last year when he first got brought up, all he's doing is hitting .284 with 22 home runs, Sam, 61 RBI. That is good for a 948 OPS. And then OPS Plus, which is a stat I like to use, his OPS Plus is 167. So what that is it takes all the OPSs and it standardizes it. So league average, to what the league average is 100. So he's got a 167. So he is 67% better than the average hitter in terms of OPS, which of course is on base plus slugging. So he's bringing the power. He's hitting 284, so he's hitting for average. 61 ribbies in the 2-hole. This guy looks like he's going to be really freaking good, Sam.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. And I'm sure the previous teams that had him on the roster are kicking themselves the way he's been playing lately.
Yeah, that would be the Padres, and they traded him again for 1.5 years of Juan Soto.
There you go.
They did go to the NLCS that 1 year, so I guess there's that. But yeah, tough. Probably a little bit tough to see if you're a Padres fan. Probably more so that you let Soto walk. Like, I feel like that'd be okay if you traded away everything for Soto.
Oh yeah,
it's like you're in a good spot, but then the fact that you just traded him away in turn is crazy to me. So shout out James Wood. He looks like he's a budding superstar. Yours truly might have a rookie card of his that he's holding on to, and hopefully in hopes that he does become really good, and that might accrue some value. But James Wood is a beast, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
James Wood is a beast, but of course we will now have to take a look at some losers of the past week. So Sam, who is your loser?
Yeah, as you kind of mentioned, LSU ended up winning the Men's College World Series as an awesome tournament. Not for me personally. Arkansas absolutely blew it. But my loser is going to be the Game 2 Umps of the Men's College World Series because this was a highly expected matchup between Coastal Carolina, one of the hottest teams in college baseball, entering the finals. They were on like a 23-game win streak. Ended up losing game 1-0. LSU's pitcher Cade Anderson was absolutely amazing that one. But going in this game 2, they expected it to be a absolute dogfight, and that all changed in the bottom of the first inning in game 2 as Coastal Carolina's coach Kevin Schnall and first base coach Matt Schilling were ejected in just the first inning. Now, you can eject coaches, first base, second base, it doesn't matter. But doing it at the first inning is absolutely absurd. And it definitely had an impact on the game. But I do think LSU was the better team overall. They got done. But it's definitely absurd what the umps did for sure.
Yeah. So I think the best way to put it was from Jeff Passan, of course, the MLB insider for ESPN. He said it perfectly because, like you said, Sam, like I'm not going to come up here and say, "Oh, you can't ring, you can't eject a coach in that situation because every situation is different." But he said there are very few combinations of words in the English language that would warrant ejecting a coach from an elimination game in the Men's College World Series Finals in the first inning. And then he responded to his own tweet with the video, and you can see what the coach said, and the coach said, "You missed 3 pitches."
Yeah.
And that was enough to get him ejected in an elimination game when his team's fighting for his life. We just need to be better.
Yeah.
We just have to be better. That's ridiculous. And I don't know if anything has come of this. If any sort of, I mean, obviously I know the general public is very much not happy with the home plate umpire who did end up throwing him out. I know there was some concerns because the base umpire who came in to like try and mediate, he tripped.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like
it was a little bit of a shove, but he literally just tripped.
Yeah, he completely tripped. All-time quote though by Kevin Schnall. I shouldn't be held accountable for criticism. Excellent.
It's true.
Crazy. Just crazy.
Absolutely absurd.
Horrible. And I believe both coaches have a suspension to start the next season.
Yep. 2-game suspension. Absolutely absurd. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And that is poor umpiring. Yeah, for mine, Sam, I'm going to stick on the baseball diamond. It has been a really, really rough stretch for a couple of teams recently, Sam. And my loser is going to be New York baseball. About 2 weeks ago, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets were the best records, or I guess not the Yankees because they were battling with the Tigers, but the Mets had the best record in the National League. The Yankees had the second best record in the American League, had a comfortable lead on the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Rays in the AL East, and things looked awesome in New York for a potential all New York postseason and maybe even Subway Series, World Series. Well, since then, it has gone down in a complete nosedive for both teams now. Both teams in their last 20, how many teams are each game's last 10? So the last 20 games, 10 for each. How many games do you think combined they've won?
6.
4.
Ooh.
4.
Yikes.
The Yankees' lead in the AL East has shrunk down to 2 games over the surging Tampa Bay Rays, and the Mets have completely lost their first place lead. They are 1-9 in their last 10. Obviously, I'm more concerned about the Mets collapse. I mean, it has been disgusting to watch. You know me, I watch every single game always. Like the last 4 games I haven't watched because it just makes me so angry. An all-time, what should have been an all-time season, the team was so good and something changed, and they simply can't win a baseball game anymore. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Again, I'll say that. And now they went from 45-24 to now 46-33 and 1.5 game back in the division. So it's been a complete nosedive for both New York teams. As I'm sure you can understand, New York fan bases are not all that patient. So both fan bases are really angry with how their team is playing.
Yeah, who I thought. Who would have thought about that?
Really brutal stuff. But Sam, we talk about your Thunder.
Let's fucking do it, man.
Hey, let's go. So, Oklahoma City Thunder, which I don't know if any of you are counting, but 2 weeks ago, before Game 3 in Indiana, we did predictions on the rest of the series.
Yeah.
I said Game 3, Indiana would win. Game 4, Oklahoma City. Game 5, Oklahoma City. Game 6, Indiana. Game 7, Oklahoma City. And I was exactly right.
I had a kid.
I got to give myself some gas from that. But yes, the Thunder win in Game 7 at home. Took control of the game in the second half. But obviously, Sam, I do think we need to start in the main headline of the game. And that, of course, is the Tyrese Halliburton.
I'd say it's Thunder NBA Finals, but yeah, we could talk about the injury. Obviously, I'm not an asshole. That sucks. But you knew the risk coming into this game. You're not going to say your best player, but last time I checked, there was a lot of chirps that the Pacers had one of the deepest teams in the NBA, and didn't seem that way this game. All the supporting cast seemed to struggle, but regardless, man, you always want to play the other team at their strength, and that simply wasn't the case. I don't think that takes away from what the Thunder did this year, how it ended. But you obviously, if you're a Pacers fan, it'll be one of the biggest what ifs in recent memory in the NBA for sure.
You're a Pacers fan, you got to be sick. I mean, just absolutely sick to your stomach. Obviously, no one wanted to see that, obviously, just from a humanity standpoint. But from a basketball standpoint, like Thunder fans didn't want to see it because they were the best team in basketball all year long, and now their championship is wrongfully going to be placed with an asterisk because of this injury. And it's like, no, the Thunder were the best team in basketball all year long. Obviously, Pacers fans hate to see that. Their best player, their heart and soul, their captain goes down. And then basketball fans, I mean, you could tell just like in the arena, they're just like this whole, obviously it wasn't in Indiana, but like there was the whole allure of the game. Like the wind just got completely taken out of it when he goes down. And it sucks. And the Pacers fought as we knew they would. Yeah, it sucks. He's already had the surgery, I believe, and he's on the road to recovery. So best of luck to him. But go just talk to me about your Thunder, man. Just
I mean, let's just start from the beginning, man, because in all reality, it starts with what might go down as one of the worst trades of all time. That's what started where we are today. That's what started the journey. Paul George getting traded for Shea, Gallinari, and 5 first rounders. One of those 5 first rounders became Jalen Williams, J-Dub, one of the best two-way players in the NBA. Not only that, so that happens. We get the 2nd overall pick. Shit.
Player.
I'll give it up for him, baby.
We have seen
what?
We have seen it all.
Offense, he's still terrible, but he is absolute clamps down in the paint and is a perfect fit for this team. Not to mention, he got injured. I want to say his first season, came back better in the 23-24 season. We got our vet, Caruso, from the Giddey trade. We had slam dunks with Lou Dort, who's our best defensive player, him or Caruso, undrafted 2019, worked his way up from the G League. I mentioned Jalen Williams being the 12th overall pick, signed iHeart from your New York Knicks 2024. Casey Wallace, 10th pick. Isaiah Joe getting him from free agent. Aaron Wiggins, second rounder. This is what small market teams need to do. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder have broken the mold that you have to be one of those big market teams to be successful. Sam Presti is hands down the best NBA GM owner, whatever you want to call it, in the history. He might be one of the greatest GMs in the history of sport. Like what he has done over the past 5 years is insane. And really didn't think at all. Like we just traded assets. We traded Russ. We traded Steven Adams. We traded Chris Paul. Obviously, the Paul George trade. We got rid of KD. It's just what a crazy journey it has been. And I know a lot of people are saying they hardly celebrated yada yada. Like the parade today was like one of the least attended. It's because you're used to seeing Boston and all these teams that play in cities with millions of people. Obviously, in Oklahoma City, you're not going to get that. The celebration was a little weird, but they are also like all 20-year-olds. So they're not flashy. They are just nose to grindstone, grind you out for 40 minutes, and play good defense, play team ball. You have Shea, obviously the face of the franchise, one of the best players in the NBA, had a historic season that only 10 players have done, where he won finals MVP, regular season MVP, the scoring title, and something else. I can't remember the last part of that, but only 10 people have done that in the history of the NBA. You can put an asterisk on this championship. I don't care. All that matters is there's a banner being hung up in OKC, and we are the NBA champs. Love it or hate it, you got to respect it.
Banners fly forever. I mean, look at it this way. Like in 2019, like obviously the whole talk during that finals was, oh, but Clay's hurt. Oh, but KD's hurt. When I sit back and I look at that 2019 team, I think of Kawhi Leonard. I think of Pascal Siakam. I think of Kyle Lowry. Like all these guys who put together these incredible runs, played great defense, got the big butt. Like my mind doesn't go right. Oh wait, but KD was hurt. That's not what my mind goes.
Yeah.
I think about the Raptors. I think about that awesome team. And, I'm sure for a while when we think about these finals, everyone's going to go, oh, yeah, but
Tyrese. Yeah.
In 5 years, we're going to be like, yeah, but they had SGA and they had Jalen Williams and they had Shet and they had we're just going to be talking about how good this team is. But it's just this is a crazy turnaround. Like you said, obviously, first time back in the finals since, the original Big Three. KD left. Obviously, Russ was still there. Made the playoffs. Then when he went and traded for Chris Paul, then I believe Chris Paul was enough to be in the bubble playoffs.
Yeah.
And then traded him away to the Suns and got back some stuff. And then I think after that, it may have been at its worst. But that's the thing, man, is these small market teams, how long has Detroit been drafting in the top 5?
Yeah.
Or if there was no lottery and it was just straight up record, would they be drafting in the top 5? How long is Washington? Oklahoma City, maybe they bottomed out for a year or two. Immediately within 3 years are now champions.
Yeah. And the scariest part is they're not done.
They have 4
They
round draft picks.
They have 11 first-round draft picks. So the 15th pick this year, the 24th pick, 2026 top 4 protected pick from 76ers, 2026 top 8 protected pick from Utah, our own 2026 pick, a pick swap in 27 from the Clippers, a top 4 protected pick from Denver in 27, 28 Hawks pick swap with Dallas, 29, 30, and 31 picks, all of our own. So, I mean, I think the best way to put of where this team could head is Osman Jang was either the 11th or 12th pick a couple years ago. He was playing the last 45 seconds of the game 7 of NBA. Like, there's so much talent on this team that we haven't even seen on the NBA floor. And the thing that encourages me most about the future of this team is they all seem to really enjoy each other, which is super rare in the NBA. I mean, you can call it corny, but that's kind of what you got to do in small market. You can't just buy your players like we've seen so many teams do in the past, but it's gonna be. I am still in shock. I wish I had my OKC Thunder championship hat on right now, but it's coming, so don't worry. But I couldn't be happier, man.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And another reason to be really optimistic about the future of this team is Sam Press is your GM. And
facts.
He will find a way. But there's nothing else to say. Like, the team is so young, it's so good. The move that won them the championship, I think we even might have said it. I mean, I've obviously not said this will win them a championship, but we said this move is incredible at the time. Of course,
Caruso.
Alex Caruso.
Absolutely.
Having someone who routinely scored 20 plus off the bench, who could shoot, who plays obviously excellent defense, who's all over the floor, and who's a veteran leader and who was the leader of this team. I mean, that's just like a home run pickup, and it costed you a Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just truly one of the better moves of this NBA offseason this past year, and obviously was a key part in their championship run. But I mean, there's not much I can say that hasn't been said already. It's really scary to think about where this team will be going. All the picks they have, all the talent they have that they just don't have room for. And the guy at the helm seems to know what he's doing when he's making decisions like that. So, shout out to Oklahoma City Thunder. Anything else you got to say about your championship squad?
Like, I mentioned how they built up from the draft and trades, and they did the same damn thing with their coach. Their coach, Mark Dejean, started out in the G League. He coached Caruso in the G League, and he worked his way up. Like I said, this is put your nose to grindstone and grind your way out, and look where we are, baby, on top of the freaking world.
And like you said, you said trades. Like, it's important what type of trades, because trades happen every day in the NBA, it seems like. And obviously we'll get to some that have happened. The trades we're talking about is the final piece. The go out and get yourselves a Alex Caruso. I'm trying to think of what other teams have done that in their championship runs recently, where we're not talking they did it through trades where they gave away all of their picks for a Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what happened here, obviously. And obviously, it helps that SGA turned into the star he is. But yeah, just drafting well, making smart sell high trades, and then drafting smart. And then when you noticed, hey, we're pretty good, knowing when the blood is in the water to get the final piece.
Yeah. And go ahead.
And obviously not mortgage your future while doing so.
Yeah. And I think very overlooked asset to this team was iHeart. Obviously, hanging out with you, I watched a lot of him at New York, man, and just that. I mean, we have 2-1-2 punches. You either deal with Caruso or Lou Dort, pick your poison there, and then Shet and iHeart. Like that's what the like those two, Caruso and iHeart, coming off the bench is uh, one of the most underrated things about this team for real.
Yeah, his opponent's field goal numbers in the paint when he's on the floor are staggering.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for iHeart. He was such a good Nick. I love iHeart. Shout out him. But that's also when you draft well, that's what you can do. You can be like, hey, we need another center. Here's an extra $5 million a year to come play for us.
Yeah.
Because you have that cap room that you negotiated so well, as opposed to teams that are constantly just pushing money down the line, trying to figure out what the hell to do because they're paying all these stars $60-70 million a year or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Thunder did the absolute right way. You said it's the blueprint for small market team. It's how it should go. It's how it has to go, and the Thunder have absolutely mastered it. So shout out to Oklahoma City Thunder, your 2024-2025 NBA champions, which is crazy to think about for sure.
Absolutely.
Crazy to think about. So Sam with the first championship on the podcast.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was going to be the Thunder. I'm going to be honest with you, Tanner. But it feels good regardless, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. However, Game 7 was not the only thing going on Sunday because in classic NBA fashion, the drama and the breaking news and all that crap overtook actual basketball and good basketball because we had the first shoe to drop in the
major shoe, I'd say. Desmond Bane
first
did good trade.
Major shoe to drop. Kevin Durant, he has been traded for the what seems like millionth time in his career. He is now a Houston Rocket, and the full trade, the Rockets received KD, and the Suns received Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, 2025 number 10 pick, and then 5 second-round picks.
We just talked about how awesome Sam Presti has done. The Suns GM needs to be canned. I mean, sure, you're getting rid of an older KD. Why would you not get Alperen Sengun? Perhaps I would probably put him already at a top 5-7 big in the NBA. And you have Bradley Beal with a no trade clause. You have Devin Booker. So what do you get? More guards. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I do. Don't get me wrong, I do think Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks could be good young talent, but this trade just makes no sense to me. But for the Rockets, home run, dude.
Man,
they were in the West.
Yep.
Add best score in perhaps NBA history to that team. The Rockets just became a problem for sure.
And they kept Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun.
Yeah. Absolutely absurd.
That's crazy to me. And Jalen Green, there's a world in which he gets there. I know, like you said, the Suns, they're not necessarily deprived of guard play. But there's a world where he gets there and he turns into a star and it's great and he's a great son. Out of everyone I just mentioned, Jalen Green's making the most money.
Yeah.
So he took back the guy who's making the most money. Now it's very possible that could have been just they needed to balance salaries in the trade, and if that is the case, obviously I take back that. But like the fact that you looked at all the young players and you were like, no, I want Jalen Green back,
Yeah.
and then that's what you did. And like there were other teams that were trying to trade for him. Like if you didn't need if the Rockets said absolutely not, we're not trading Jabari Smith, we're not trading Sengun. They'd be like, okay, Minnesota, what you got for me?
Yeah.
Okay, San Antonio, what do you got for me? Like, and the season wasn't over yet. You had all of the offseason to negotiate these things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get the urgency. I don't get the return for the Suns. A team that was in the finals not too terribly long ago, 2021, I believe, when they lost. It was up 2-0 in those finals, by the way.
Yeah.
Has now within what 4 years, their projected lineup is now going to be Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Nick Richards.
That's a squad.
My goodness.
And the other side, we forgot to mention Fred VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, Eamon Thompson, Jabari, KD, Sengun.
Woo! That team's gonna be nice.
That is a really good lineup right there. That is a really good lineup. Oh, and they were the 2 seed last year.
Yeah.
So
with the one
great head coach.
You mentioned it seemed very rushed. I wonder if the fact the draft is in 2 days
probably
has an impact on that.
You're probably right.
But it's interesting nonetheless. Crazy trade. The Rockets are going to be a problem.
Rockets will.
Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah, that is nice. For sure. Very nice. There have been conflicting reports. I think currently the latest one is that the Suns probably are trying to flip Jalen Green, I think. I don't know if they're going to be able to. I don't really. But there have been also reports that they're not going to flip him. Who knows? Who knows? But that was not the only trade.
That almost makes it worse.
Yeah, it's.
So you trade KD for Dylan Brooks and some picks. They're really banking on the 10th overall pick being the stud.
I got nothing. And like you said, a team that looked like it was set up with a ton of stars, a ton of assets has just completely fallen apart with seemingly little hope towards the future, you know?
It just
an all-time bad run for the Phoenix Suns.
Like I'm looking at I have the information on the Desmond Bane trade.
Yeah, hit me with that.
So the Magic got Desmond Bane. The Grizzlies got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 2025 first-round pick. That's going to be the 16th pick. 2026 first-round pick, 2028 first-round pick, 2029 first-round pick, and 2030 first-round pick. But the Suns for KD got Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th pick, second-round pick, 2 second-round picks in 2026, a 2030 second-rounder, and a 2032 second-rounder. And yes, I know there's a big age difference between Desmond Bane and Kevin Durant, but it's still Kevin freaking Durant.
It's Kevin Durant, man. Apparently the Suns are also shopping Grayson Allen.
Who doesn't want him?
My thought exactly. But then the one last night, kind of shocked us a little bit. Less moving parts in this one. The Blazers are getting Drew Holiday from the Celtics, and the Celtics are getting back Anthony Simons and 2 second rounds.
I don't understand what everyone's issue with Drew Holiday being on their team for like more than 2 years is
You got to
because
You just have to.
we're a Drew Holiday podcast.
Yes, we are.
We are big fan, and I'm gonna be honest. Don't know much about Anthony Simons. I have a hard time believing he's at the level of Drew Holiday. It might just be a get younger, but
Cheaper, I think.
but at the end of the day, the Celtics are in win now mode. So I just a contract over offload is the only thing that makes sense here. But I think Simons. I think he has a fat contract too.
He might. I couldn't tell you. That screams someone that the Blazers gave a bag to that we were all just like, why? But he's not a bad player. I don't want to come across saying that he's a bad player. But like, I think I saw someone on Twitter quote tweeted it, or excuse me, X, and quote tweeted it and said, this might be the first lose-lose trade in NBA history. Where it's like, if you're the Blazers, like, I love Drew Holiday as much as the next guy. You're not a Drew Holiday away from competing in the West.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're getting older. You're getting more expensive. What's going on here? And then the Celtics, it's like you said, they're in win now mode. And like the Boston Celtics are a team and a brand that should be able to eat a contract that may not be the best, but given that player can still help them win a championship.
Yeah.
Like if he was like, so old that he was simply not helping the team anymore, I get it. Get him out by any means necessary. He's helping the team.
Yeah.
It's just maybe he's not worth what you're paying him now, but you're the Boston damn Celtics. If he's going to help you, you should be able to eat that to get him on your basketball team. So I don't really know. I don't really get the vision for this trade at all for either team personally.
Yeah. So going into next year, Drew Holiday contract will be 32. Will take 32.4 mil cap hit for next season. Anthony Simons is 27.6 going into next season.
Did you say $5 million?
Yes. And he is an unrestricted free agent the following offseason. So yeah, I'm a little confused by this one, but yeah, I don't have much else.
Me neither. I was the same way. And then just a little bit ago, I mean, maybe 30 minutes ago, right before we sat down to record, we got another trade. This one involving, hold on, I gotta find, here it is. This one also involving the Celtics. So 3-team trade with the Hawks, Celtics, and Nets. The Hawks, they get Kristaps Porzingis and a second-round pick. The Celtics get George Niang in a second-round pick. And the Nets get Terrence Mann and the number 22 pick this upcoming year.
Sure. I mean,
I like that. That's a great way to put it.
Like, it just seems they're just moving names around. Like,
that's such a good way to put it. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Kristaps Porzingis played last year anyway.
Yeah, it's not like he's what he was 5, 6, 7, whatever it was.
20. What year did?
Before pre-injury,
they looked unstoppable with him when he was not injured and not sick or whatever he was dealing with this year. Like, this Porzingis, he's going to be hurt. You know this. So he didn't play last year. And I guess you're in this like shedding salary thing.
Yeah, I guess.
So you're trying to get rid of him. And sure, I mean, you get George Niang, like, he can give you 20 minutes off the bench. Threes. Like, that's fine. And then the Nets, they got another pick, and I think that's what the Nets were after. They were willing to take on basically whatever to get another draft pick. And yeah, Celtics get a guy off the bench in a second rounder. Hawks get, when at his best, he can be a star center and another second rounder. It's just like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you want to do, you do it. However, what is of note interesting is that the Nets with this 22nd pick, They now have 1/6 of the first round draft picks in this upcoming draft.
There you go.
They have 5 of them.
Jeez.
5 first rounders. That's kind of
That ain't bad.
They
That ain't
have
bad.
8, 19, 22, 26, and 27.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I get the vision. If you're Brooklyn, and just do whatever you can to weasel your way into this so you can get a pick. Perfect. Perfectly done by Brooklyn there. But those are the NBA trades going on.
There is one more, not much of note because these players are kind of washed. I just had up Pelicans and the Wizards made a trade earlier today about 2 p.m. Day of recording. Pelicans are trading CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the 40th pick.
That's a lot of names. CJ McCollum for Jordan Poole
at the end of the day.
In the year of our Lord 2025. Can't say I had that on my bingo card.
Oh.
Good to see Kelly Olynyk still getting around.
Sadiq Bey, come on now.
Bey, he had that like 41-point games, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
So shout out Sadiq Bey.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sure, and yeah. Those are our reactions. But yeah, just wanted to throw because CJ McCollum was kind of a dog like 6 years ago.
Yeah, of course.
Not so much anymore. And we all know the meme that is Jordan Poole. So
by the way, it was not 41, it was 51 for Sadiq Bey. What the hell is that? March 17th, 2022, Sadiq Bey had 51.
What you know about it? Give me TJ Warren in the bubble vibes, bro.
One of the most random games you'll ever see. Yeah, dude. So some trades going on, some big ones, some not so big ones. Love the analysis here. So what do you come here for?
Yeah.
It's for just teams moving guys.
Trade breakdowns, baby. Let's go.
And so that's what's going on in the NBA. Of course, we mentioned the draft is on Thursday. So today, the day of release of the episode, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So it was on Thursday. So, we'll first look at Cooper Flag as a Maverick.
Have you seen what Ace Bailey has been doing lately? He has not done a private workout for any team.
That's interesting. Why?
No one really knows.
It's a good strategy. Let's see how it works out for him.
I'm sure it's gonna go great.
Yeah, I'm sure. So that's coming up. Obviously, free agency right around the corner. No one likes to make a splash like the NBA, so I'm sure we'll have stuff to cover.
Oh yeah.
Now, my question: do you think if Adam Silver had his way, he could just like snap his fingers like genie style? He would make it so the NBA season never happens, and we can just have full year-round NBA drama of trades, like constant trades in free agency, and then the basketball just never plays. I think he would.
I think he'd like
that too.
Maybe all the drama with every team except only the Celtics, Lakers, Knicks, Nuggets play.
That's essentially what happens anyway.
It's true. It's true.
So, we'll see. Maybe this year the Suns are gonna knock off the
maybe the reigning champs will have more than 13.
Well,
I know.
Like that.
I know.
Stop talking like that. Maybe the Rockets might. Rockets will get some, I think.
Adam Silver, if you're listening,
which you are, we know you are.
Please schedule the OKC Thunder versus the Rockets.
That would
be awesome.
That would run. Yeah, I think. Trying to think of the other two. I mean, obviously, I feel like you don't want to rub it in Russ's face. I feel like he's still beloved there.
Yeah, no.
But the Clippers could work too. right? Or it just
The Clippers would work.
Well,
The thing is, though, Steven Adams is on the Houston Rockets.
So
it's
now is
know
that a good thing? Like, oh, we get two of them, or a bad thing because
bad
you
thing.
like him?
I love Steven Adams, man. But the fact you see Katie witness it, he couldn't do it. I would thoroughly enjoy that.
For sure. I tell you what, though, obviously not doing an episode last week. There was a major trade also that we didn't get to talk about. It's 2 weeks gone at this point, so I won't talk much about it. But we should mention the Rafael Devers trade in the MLB. One of the more shocking,
weird one.
One of the more shocking ones to go through. I mentioned how poorly the Yankees and the Mets have been playing. Well, the Yankees run started. They went to Boston for 3 games. They got swept. Devers. One thing about Devers is every baseball fan knows he owns the Yankees. Yankees fans were celebrating this trade more than Giants fans were. He got traded to the Giants. Yankees fans were celebrating this like he's out of our division. He's out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Get him the hell so far away from me. He has been so good against the Yankees in his career. This series was no different. Boston had won like 5 in a row at that point. Things were really turning around. And then immediately, I mean, when I say immediately, I mean immediately. 2 hours after the game when they swept him on that Sunday, he was traded.
Nice.
So, really questionable stuff. And in typical MLB fashion, they got nothing in return. It was essentially a glorified free agency deal where they said, here, you can have him if you pay his entire contract and you don't have to give us like anything. That's exactly what happened. So you've seen everyone talk about it, how confused we were. I also got nothing. Incredibly strange timing and incredibly weird seeing Rafael Devers not in a Red Sox jersey. So
yeah.
The Red Sox have, taken a seemingly promising core, let them all walk, or traded them for an amount that basically adds up to 0.
Yeah.
So tough if you're Boston. If you're a Red Sox fan, I feel you. That sucks. That truly sucks. But shall we wrap up the show with a Give Me 5, Sam?
Let's do it.
All right. Of course, the topic this week, we are going to be ranking or drafting, I should say, 5 overrated things. Overrated things. So obviously this can go any way.
Yeah, there's so many ways you could go with this one. But for my 1-1, Tanner, I'm gonna go with being famous because that just sounds awful.
It sounds exhausting.
It sounds terrible. Yeah, money would be nice, but that you can't even enjoy like spending the money because you're constantly followed. You have no privacy whatsoever. So being famous, 1-1.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, man. It sounds exhausting to be famous. Now with mine, I have a few I can go. I tell you what, I'm gonna go one here. You and I are not too far out of college. And in college, as we were preparing to enter the workforce, there was something that was pushed on us. Like, you need this. You need to make this. You need to update this. You need to have this in tip-top shape because it's just how you're going to present yourself. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
I can honestly say after I was forced to make this for school, I have looked at it maybe once or twice. LinkedIn.
Oh,
I'm going.
That's
LinkedIn.
Not where I thought you were going.
I think LinkedIn is so overrated. People are using it all the time. I've barely even used it. I've barely even looked at it. I look at social media. I've never been like, oh, let me see what my coworker's up to. No, I don't care. If I want to go to social media, I'm going elsewhere. I think LinkedIn is so overrated.
Interesting. Yeah, that wasn't where I was going. Where I thought you were going to go with that.
And then in my 2 hole, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with something. People love them. However, it's a little tough because there is a people who love them have since been kind of clowned on for loving them because they act a certain way. However, all in all, I don't think they're very good on average, and a lot of people like them. I'm going IPAs.
Yeah, they suck.
IPAs overrated as hell. You think everyone thinks they're all that in a bag of chips when they're drinking them. They taste like crap. No one cares about your IPA.
It's true.
IPAs are my two-hole.
That's a good one, for sure. Yeah, they're terrible. The fact like people regularly drink that is wild. But for my two, I'm gonna go with something I would say 95% of people do every single year. New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, that's a really good.
I mean, so overrated. How many people year in, year out, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And they end up failing and they just do it over and over. It's massively overrated. So I got New Year's resolutions at my two.
They like know they know it's overrated too. They're like they make comments about how I'm probably want to keep this for a week. Then why even do it?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Now for my three. There's a lot out there, Tanner. I'm gonna go with a place I do enjoy, but I think is one of the most overrated places for a vacation. I'm going Las Vegas here, Tanner. Uh, you don't need like the fact people go out there for multiple like more than a week is absolutely absurd to me. It's a 2 to 3 day vacation for me. I think is one of the most overrated places to go for vacation.
Interesting stuff. For my third pick, this is what I thought you were gonna take. I'm going with something that people do year in, year out. I can honestly say that when it occurs, there might not be a place I would like to be less on Earth than here doing this at this time. I'm going with Black Friday shopping.
Interesting.
On after eating stuffing your face with food all day long, hanging out with your family, going at midnight to go shop at like all these places where like and it's like an absolute madhouse and everyone's pushing each other. Like that sounds awful to me.
Interesting.
Completely awful.
I do think it's overrated for sure. Like no doubt. I have never been Black Friday shopping where it's absolutely insane. And it's not even Black Friday anymore, man. Like they're opening on like Thursday or Wednesday, Black Friday sale.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like, why not just like the deals will be there? It's like a month-long thing now.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be my 3 hole, and then with my fourth pick, I'm going something that again, it's just like I don't enjoy doing this. Like I can't believe that people are like, oh, this is gonna be so fun. I'm gonna go with clubbing.
Yep, that was on my list.
Clubbing. It's like, expensive, loud. You can't talk to anyone. You're like, yeah, let's go hang out. Let's go clubbing. I'll never we won't get a word in. Like it's not hanging out. It's just being in the same spot at the same time. So I think clubbing is terrible, and obviously people love it. So I'm gonna go with clubbing there.
That's a good one for sure. For my 4, Tanner, hmm, I'm going to do this one. I think you'll wholeheartedly agree with this one. I don't think there's going to be much debate with us on this one. And that is Chicago deep dish pizza, the worst.
Just terrible, man.
The worst type of pizza.
Yeah.
It is literally lasagna with crust. That's what it is.
Great pick.
So that is my 4th, and for my final one, I'm gonna go with scary movies. Because the fact people go like get excited about being scared shitless is absurd to me. Now, I will say when they're really bad scary movies, I do enjoy those, but like the ones that are legit terrifying, I think is the most overrated thing. I've always been a person that's why be scared shit pay to get scared shitless when you can laugh your ass off for the same price.
You suck for that because that was 100% my next pick. I could not agree with you more. I hate like even it goes to like when your kids like, oh, you want to go to the haunted house? No, I absolutely do not. Giving away hard-earned U.S. currency to be scared to me is like one of the dumbest decisions. Like you said, you could like, and now there's a difference between a thriller and a horror movie.
Yeah,
like, I understand the adrenaline rush, but I don't get that from just like pure horror.
Yeah.
If there's some thriller aspect, I can get on board with that. But like pure horror, it's like
Quiet Place is a great example. Great movie.
Horror is just like, come on.
Like, especially the ones that are like based off of true stories that are just like, yeah. Missing.
Yeah, exactly. I could not agree more. So now for my last pick. Okay, I know what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with something. I know. I'm curious what your reaction is because I actually had one somewhat recently that I enjoyed, but all in all, I think they are wildly overrated, and I don't think I've ever gone here for like my top choice of dessert. I'm going with crumble cookies.
Yeah, I can get on board with that for sure.
Not my type of cookie at all. They do have some that are like good, like you said, like we were talking about before, but like so expensive.
Yeah,
and like I would so much rather go to like an actual like like my favorite cookie of all time, which there was one here a little bit, like the Great American Cookies, where it's just a sugar cookie or a snickerdoodle cookie, and they're just baked well and they're soft in the middle. Like I would 10 times out of 10, a million times out of a million, rather have that than this foo crap crumble cookie that was like $8 for one and just isn't that good.
You mean like the Benson Boone's Moonbeam ice cream cookie?
What the hell is even that?
I love the fact Crumble doesn't even have like sometimes just doesn't have cookies. Like this week they have a chocolate cheesecake and a lemon cake. Like that's just not a that's like I agree with that for sure.
They're just not it for me. Not it for me. And they were all the really, I think they might have died down somewhat recently, but they were really popular for a while. I never saw it.
I think Insomnia wipes the floor. Insomnia is fire.
Insomnia stops.
That one crumble. Weird cookie I had. I can't remember what it's called.
Another candidate for the best cookie I've ever had was from Insomnia. It was a limited edition. They had a lemon poppy seed cookie.
Yeah,
that was it was so good.
What was it? I think I might try that everything bagel cookie from there.
Okay,
that was not great. Underrated cookie though. Subway's cookies.
Yeah, they're good, man.
Are the best fast food cookies
they're good.
You can get.
I agree.
Unreal.
I agree.
Unreal cookies down. They got it going on down there
I
for
agree.
sure.
100%. 100%. Now, you got any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I got a couple. Y'all probably know my stance on this, but I think Friends is one of the most overrated shows. I left that one out for the graphic for sure.
I have so many that I like, just the things I don't enjoy, but I know everyone else.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a lot on here that. So Friends, I honestly think it's one of the worst, not worst shows. But the fact people obsess over it's really weird to me. In-N-Out Burgers, absolutely trash. New Drake. People think his new releases are like the greatest.
You know what I had?
What? Nice.
Because like I love Dan. Like Dan's good. Some of the older stuff is good.
His new stuff's not great. Drake's new stuff is trash.
Our guy, I'm just not.
Yeah. This one might hit a little too close home for you, Tanner, but Manhattan. Not wasn't a fan. Another one that you might not like, Star Wars. Another one you probably won't be a fan. Call of Duty is another one.
I'll give you Call of Duty, Ghosts, and Forward.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 and MW2 and MW3 were all so fire to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yikes. Party buses.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just like
I thought about putting limousine down there.
limousines.
But like at least like a limousine is not meant like you're meant to sit and like the party bus is like we're driving but like party.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sequels. 99% of sequels suck. This can be controversy because I know a lot of people are really hype about it. Snack wraps. It's literally a chicken strip, shred cheese, and lettuce.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where like
it's definitely a nostalgic, I think, for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people, when it comes back, is gonna be like, "This is what I wanted for how many years?"
I had them a lot when I was a kid. I'm looking forward to having one.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna order some for sure.
I'm looking forward to having one again. When it went away, I was like, okay,
yeah.
Like, did I want them to bring it back? Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Two more. What I thought you were gonna say, when you said LinkedIn, I thought you were gonna say this, and that's MLA and AP format.
Oh,
that's what I thought you were gonna say. And then last one, plain New York cheesecake. I think it is kind of overrated. I think there's so many better. Like the fact if you don't get like strawberry at least, I think it's kind of crazy.
If you have the option of strawberry cheesecake or regular cheesecake and you're going regular cheesecake, that's a little sus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strawberry cheesecake is definitely superior. I don't mind that at all. There are a bunch of there are a bunch of stuff on here similar to your run of Manhattan Star Wars that like I know you enjoy.
Yeah,
not for me. I will say this one is an asterisk of it's only when you're out of school. Summer for me. I hate being hot. Again, when you're in school, summer is the best. There's nothing better than summer. When you're out of school, it's the best. As someone who is not in school anymore, I hate summer. And then especially because like the dungeon of being at work, even though I hate it, it's such backwards thinking because like I hate being outside during summer most of the time because I hate being hot. But then when you're inside and you're looking outside at the sun, you're like, this sucks that I'm inside.
Yeah.
And like it makes that the fact that you're working so much worse and all the kids are outside of school and you're just like, this sucks. On the same note, I personally am not a beach guy. I hate the beach. I don't like going into the water that is not clean. I don't like sand gets everywhere. Um, and then obviously the fact that you're just in the sun and baking is not my favorite thing to do in the world, especially if I'm not as eager to get in the water as I would be to like a pool. Um, this one is really a rough one. Because I know this is something you really enjoy. Something that's personally not for me. Concerts. I'm good with without the live music. Not for me. I think just and I get it. There are probably people that come back and say, well, like it's the same thing as like a live sporting event, which is probably true. I just not for me. Um, I think in general, Starbucks is overrated. Like, I'll have a Starbucks drink every once in a while. Like, sure, it's probably it'll hit every once in a while. Every day is crazy.
Yeah.
Super expensive, and I think their regular coffee sucks ass. And then the last one I had here, which is something I enjoy, I just think it's overrated because there are places that I like better. I had Chick-fil-A on here. I think Popeyes is better, personally.
Just jabs, man.
Any others you had? Or are we ready to wrap this thing up?
I'm ready to wrap it up.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 174 of Crunchtime. Of course, we had our first championship on the pod. The Thunder taking home the 2024-2025 championship, which is pretty awesome to see. Talked about some big trades, and of course, we rounded it out with Give Me 5 overrated things. Make sure to follow the podcast on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Crunchtime_pod. Like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube Crunchtime with the N326 duo. But the clock has run out of this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunchtime.
Eater.